When we speak of awakening, we refer to a profound shift in perception and understanding. It describes the process of moving beyond limited awareness into a deeper connection with reality itself. This awakening is characterized by increasing clarity, presence, and a recognition of the interconnectedness of all things. Unlike temporary states of inspiration or insight, true awakening represents a fundamental and lasting transformation in how we experience ourselves and the world. Throughout human history, wisdom traditions across cultures have recognized this potential for expanded consciousness. Many paths emerged, some advocating complete withdrawal from society, others prescribing elaborate rituals and practices. Yet beneath these diverse approaches lies a common understanding that human beings can transcend suffering through direct realization of their essential nature. This awakening is not merely a concept to be studied, but a direct experience to be lived. As one teacher expressed, there is an ever-present awareness that is neither born nor dies. It is not created or formed. If it were not available to us, freedom from conditioning would be impossible. This statement points to something beyond ordinary perception, a dimension of being where limitation dissolves. How spiritual awakening differs from religious conversion or belief. While some traditions focus on devotion to deities or adherence to moral codes, awakening centers on direct experience and inner freedom. It's not about escaping reality, but seeing it more clearly. The emphasis is practical rather than theoretical. What obscures our natural state? How can we recognize it? The answers reveal a straightforward path to awakening. The process of awakening often follows recognizable stages. First comes the recognition that our habitual state of consciousness is limited and often unsatisfying. We begin to sense something more fundamental beneath our thoughts and emotions. Next arises a sincere longing for truth and freedom that propels us toward practices that quiet the mind and open the heart. Eventually, glimpses of expanded awareness occur. Moments when the sense of separation dissolves, revealing a deeper reality. These glimpses may be brief at first, but they leave an unmistakable impression. They demonstrate that our usual perception is merely one way of experiencing life. With continued practice, these moments extend and deepen until they become our natural state. The path requires patience, sincerity, and willingness to question everything we believe about ourselves. Practices for awakening include meditation, self-inquiry, contemplation, and mindful presence. Through meditation, we learn to observe thoughts without attachment, creating space between our awareness and mental activity. Self-inquiry involves directly questioning the nature of our identity, with questions like, who am I beyond my thoughts and feelings? Contemplation allows us to absorb profound teachings until they penetrate our understanding. Mindful presence brings awakening into everyday life through complete attention to each moment. These approaches are not rigid formulae, but invitations to discover your own direct path. The journey unfolds uniquely for each person, shaped by temperament, life circumstances, and the particular obstacles that need clearing. What remains constant is the progressive liberation from limited identity and the recognition of a more fundamental truth. The teacher often spoke of awakening as natural and accessible rather than mysterious or complicated. He described it as simply recognizing what has always been present but overlooked, like noticing the vast sky after years of only watching clouds. He used metaphors like removing veils or clearing murky water to illustrate that awakening reveals what's already here rather than creating something new. Awakening is a process that defies complete description through words alone. It points to an experience beyond conceptual understanding. Since this dimension transcends ordinary thinking, teachers have relied on metaphors and paradoxes to evoke its nature rather than define it intellectually. Because awakening exists beyond conventional experience, metaphors serve as bridges to hint at what lies beyond words. These images offer glimpses without reducing the mystery to something familiar or ordinary. The clear mirror. When the mind becomes still and transparent, it reflects reality without distortion. Just as a perfectly clean mirror shows things exactly as they are, the awakened mind perceives without the filters of prejudice, desire, or fear. The open sky. Consciousness is likened to vast, boundless space in which all experiences arise and pass. Thoughts, emotions, and sensations are like clouds moving through this space, temporary formations that don't affect the sky's fundamental nature. The depths of the ocean. While the surface may be turbulent with waves and currents, the deep ocean remains undisturbed. Similarly, beneath the changing thoughts and emotions of daily life lies a profound stillness that remains untouched by circumstance. These metaphors point to awakening's qualities, yet they also remind us that it must be directly experienced rather than merely conceptualized or imagined. One reason awakening proves difficult to comprehend is that we attempt to understand it using the very mind that obscures it. It's like trying to see clearly through glasses smudged with fingerprints while not realizing we're wearing glasses. Our habitual patterns of thinking and perceiving, formed through conditioning and belief, become invisible to us, seeming like reality itself rather than one interpretation of it. The invitation is to shift attention from what appears in consciousness to consciousness itself, from the content of experience to the context in which all experience happens. This simple yet profound shift reveals what has always been present, a spacious awareness that precedes all thinking. Do not chase after what has passed. Do not anticipate what has not yet arisen. Rest in the spaciousness of present awareness. This teaching points to direct experience rather than intellectual understanding. By resting in awareness, without grasping or rejecting what arises, the nature of mind reveals itself. To further clarify the awakening process, teachers distinguish between different dimensions or aspects of realization. Initial awakening experiences often arrive unexpectedly, moments when our usual sense of self temporarily dissolves, revealing a more fundamental identity. Though brief, these experiences can permanently alter our understanding of reality. Stabilized awakening occurs as these realizations become more consistent and integrated into daily life. The insights that once seemed extraordinary become our natural way of seeing and being. Embodied awakening happens as our actions, relationships, and way of living align more completely with our deeper understanding. It's not enough to have profound insights if they remain disconnected from how we actually live. These aspects highlight that awakening unfolds as a continuous journey rather than a single event. What begins as momentary insight gradually transforms every dimension of life: perception, emotion, relationship, and action. The journey toward awakening involves three essential elements that support and reinforce each other: ethical clarity, present moment awareness, and penetrating insight. Together, they create conditions where realization can naturally unfold. Ethical clarity serves as the foundation for awakening. By living with integrity and compassion, we create fewer disturbances in our consciousness. When we cause harm to others or ourselves, the resulting guilt, defensiveness, and confusion cloud our perception. Conversely, ethical living generates clarity and inner peace. Living ethically involves more than following external rules. It requires honest self-reflection. What motivates my actions? Am I acting from love or fear, from generosity or greed? These questions invite us to examine the roots of our behavior rather than simply conforming to social expectations. Present moment awareness builds upon ethical clarity by training attention to rest fully in the now. This practice involves gathering our scattered attention and bringing it completely into this moment, sensing the body, feeling the breath, noticing thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Through consistent practice, we discover something remarkable. The present moment contains a depth and richness unavailable to a distracted mind. Colors appear more vivid, sensations more alive, emotions more clearly felt. We begin to sense the extraordinary within the ordinary. Take a moment right now to feel your breath moving in your body. Notice the sensations of sitting or standing. Can you feel the subtle energy of life flowing through you in this moment? This direct experience offers a taste of present moment awareness. Penetrating insight emerges naturally from ethical clarity and present moment awareness. As the mind becomes more stable and clear, it can examine the nature of experience itself. This examination reveals fundamental truths that liberate us from suffering. One insight concerns impermanence, the recognition that all phenomena constantly change. Nothing remains fixed or stable, including our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and physical bodies. Rather than causing despair, this understanding frees us from the futile attempt to find security in what cannot last. Take a moment to reflect on something you considered permanent 5 years ago that has now changed. Perhaps a relationship, job, belief, or physical ability. How might fully accepting impermanence change your relationship to what's happening in your life right now? Another essential insight reveals the interconnected nature of all things. Nothing exists in isolation. Every being, object, and event arises in relationship with countless others. This understanding dissolves the illusion of separation that causes so much suffering and conflict. The journey to awakening requires commitment and patience. The path unfolds gradually, with each step preparing the way for deeper realization. 3 qualities particularly support this journey: gentleness, persistence, and trust. Gentleness counters our tendency toward harsh self-judgment. Many approach spiritual practice as another arena for achievement and comparison, creating internal pressure that actually blocks awakening. Instead, gentleness creates a compassionate space where transformation can unfold naturally. Persistence acknowledges that awakening rarely happens overnight. Habits of mind developed over decades don't dissolve immediately. Regular practice gradually weakens the grip of conditioning, allowing our natural clarity to emerge. As one teacher advised, little by little, moment by moment, one grows in awareness, just as a vessel fills with water, drop by drop. Trust develops as we verify certain truths through our own experience. We begin to trust the process of awakening itself, recognizing that each challenge and breakthrough serves our deeper unfoldment. This trust sustains us through difficult periods when progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. These qualities remind us that awakening is not achieved through force or strain, but through allowing our natural wisdom to emerge as obstacles are gently removed. While awakening is often described as a spiritual goal, its principles transform everyday existence. Living with awakened awareness doesn't mean withdrawing from life, but engaging more fully from a place of presence and wisdom. At the core of awakening is freedom from compulsive thinking and reactivity. While complete liberation may develop over time, mindfulness enables us to notice when we're caught in mental patterns and choose a different response. When overwhelmed by worry, pause and ask, am I adding unnecessary suffering to this situation? When facing a difficult decision, consider, what would wisdom choose rather than fear or habit? An awakened approach cultivates equanimity amid life's inevitable fluctuations. Rather than being tossed about by changing circumstances, we develop the capacity to remain centered through both pleasure and pain, success and disappointment. This steadiness doesn't mean emotional flatness, but a profound ability to embrace all experiences without being defined by them. Recognizing the preciousness of life generates natural gratitude for simple experiences, the warmth of sunlight, the comfort of friendship, even the capacity to breathe and move. These aren't trivial matters, but the very substance of a life well lived. Living with awakened awareness transforms our relationships with others. When we're less identified with our own stories and reactions, we can truly listen and respond with compassion rather than defensiveness. Conversations become opportunities for genuine connection rather than competitions for validation or control. Try this practice when speaking with someone today. Give them your complete attention without planning what you'll say next. Notice how this simple shift changes the quality of your interaction. The principles of awakening enhance rather than diminish our engagement with daily responsibilities. Work becomes an opportunity to practice presence and offer our gifts rather than merely earning a living. Family life becomes a context for expressing love and practicing patience. Even challenges become invitations to deepen wisdom and compassion. Small practices throughout the day can maintain connection with awakened awareness. Pause before meals to appreciate the nourishment before you. Take 3 conscious breaths before important conversations or decisions. Notice moments of beauty that might otherwise pass unrecognized. These practices don't require withdrawing from normal activities, but simply bringing quality attention to what you're already doing. In this way, everyday life becomes the perfect context for continued awakening. The journey of awakening remains as relevant today as in ancient times. While outer circumstances have changed dramatically, the fundamental human condition, with its potential for both suffering and liberation, remains the same. Modern life, with its pace and complexity, makes the clarity of awakening perhaps even more valuable. Whether experienced as dramatic insight or gradual unfolding, awakening transforms our relationship with ourselves and the world. It reveals a way of being characterized by presence, wisdom, and compassion, rather than reactivity, confusion, and self-centeredness. As one teacher observed, "You need not search for freedom. You need only stop reinforcing your habits of bondage." This simple yet profound guidance reminds us that awakening isn't about becoming something different, but recognizing what we've always been beneath our conditioning. The practices and principles shared here aren't theoretical abstractions, but practical approaches validated through centuries of human experience. Whether you're taking your first steps or continuing a long-established journey, each moment of presence and insight contributes to your awakening. Remember that awakening isn't distant or separate from your everyday experience. It emerges right where you are, when attention turns toward what's most essential. The invitation is always present, waiting to be accepted in this very moment. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of spiritual awakening. I hope these words have sparked something meaningful within you. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to our channel for more content that supports your journey of consciousness and growth. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Share your questions, insights, or personal experiences with awakening. Your perspective enriches our community and helps guide future topics. Remember, this path is walked together, and your voice matters. Until next time, may you live with presence and discover the awakening available in each moment.